We all had an emo phase, right? Like, I'm not the only one in this regard. We all had a period where we got really into the color black and scrams music, and we tried on eyeliner and we either rocked it or looked like hot garbage. We tried to make our own emo bands with our friends that, at the very best, could play instruments, but more likely than not, only knew that a bass guitar was an instrument that existed. We all had the stage in our lives, right? I'm not the only one. Hopefully, at the very least, you have a faint idea of what I'm talking about. Here's why I mention any of that. I have not left this phase of my life. I started when I turned about 16 and I haven't stopped. All I wear is black now. I have quoted the real emo copy pasta accidentally to people before, and I was completely sincere. It's bad. After making my video last week on one of my favorite records of all time, Everyone Asked About You's self-titled EP, I wanted to look back and see what one of my first emo loves was. And I can link it all back to when I first heard Welcome to the Black Parade, and when a friend of mine told me to listen to Fuck Your Emotional Bullshit by Snowing. To call Snowing an iconic emo band would be an understatement, and Fuck Your Emotional Bullshit is what is considered by most to be their masterpiece. Fuck Your Emotional Bullshit flies by, only being 13 minutes long, with no tracks being longer than 3 minutes, and with nothing slow, everything hitting hard and fast. And even though these songs are fast, doesn't mean that it skimps out on any of the mathy parts. The guitar work on these songs rules, with the two guitars working beautifully off of each other, supporting and contrasting one another in these beautiful riffs, or doubling up parts to create this loud guitar sound. The guitars show us the two main sounds on this EP, which the band flows between seamlessly. We get the light, twinkle-filled Midwest emo sound, and the loud, more post-hardcore sounding emo. Snowing never fully commits to either sound. Their Midwest is still hard and passionate, and their post-hardcore sparkles, but that's not a bad thing. If anything, it gives them this incredibly distinct and wonderful sound. Oftentimes, one guitar plays a sparkly riff while the other just lays out chords, which is great, but not as great as when the guitars really get to play with each other, especially on songs like Kirk Cameron Crow. The breakdown section has one of my favorite moments in all of emo. One of the guitars is playing chords and the other is playing this melodic line. Then the rhythm section drops out, leaving just that melodic line playing. And then the second guitar comes in with this counter melody, and it leads us back into the A section. The other great example is on Important Things, where the contrasting guitars are split between an acoustic and an electric guitar, and the two play beautifully with each other. Besides these two guitars riffing with each other, there are also all these great accents and little seasonings that make what could be a normal song elevated to something incredible. There are small sections of the riff to Sam Riddich in its final halftime breakdown, and it adds a lot to the song. The other thing that makes that little passage all the better is that the drums follow along with it. This is done a lot in the album, and it really makes this band sound incredibly tight. Everyone feels so in sync with one another. The drumming on Fuck Your Emotional Bullshit it fundamentally changed my life, or at least my drumming style. Emo isn't a genre that's well known for its drumming. There are no great emo drummers in the same way that there are great emo songwriters, at least, though sometimes there is an overlap. But as with every genre, a bad drummer creates a bad band, and thankfully that's not the case here. Methuselah Rookie Card has one of the most iconic beats that I have ever heard on an emo song. The playing on the rim, those open hi-hat hits, playing off the bell of the ride, so many different sound sources that are almost always neglected are being threaded together like it's the most natural thing in the world. The drums are a rock on this EP, unflappable and always solid. I wouldn't change a note of what they are doing. Every bell hit, tom, fill, flam, all of it sounds incredible, and there are so many great ideas in here that I have stolen for my own playing. Though I feel like the drums are often undersung when it comes to Fuck Your Emotional Bullshit, the most praised thing on this EP, and rightfully so in my opinion, are the lyrics and vocal performance by John Gallum. This entire album is sung at either a scream or a louder scream. It makes it sound energetic, powerful, but not somewhat hateful, so I guess it's not real emo. Either way, Gallum gives these songs the energy that they deserve. His belts give this album even more life. Every emotional halftime breakdown is even more passionate, every recollection is more vivid, and every confession is more heartfelt. It makes this album a lot of fun to sing to. The most quoted part is probably the repeated line in Important Things with, "Why can't I see the sunspots in your eyes?" It's just so much fun to just scream along to. This is such a short EP, there's not a wide array of themes, but what is here is great. Father issues take up most of the first track. Gallum discusses his father's influence on his life even after his death. This topic is only discussed on this one song, but oh my god, does it demolish me. It's powerful stuff for the start of an album, with these recollections of how death will come for us all and those left over will be longing for the times that they'll never have. One of the other themes on this album has to do with relationships and isolation. As is tradition, this is an emo album talking about how relations are constantly failing and are difficult to maintain in the first place and how alone we are, and though it is cliched, they still make for great songs and great lyrics. Pump Fake is all about how the person you liked changed, and that it's good that you grew apart, but you're still incredibly sad about it. Kirk Cameron Crowe is all about how you wish that the person you like didn't notice how fucking awkward you were and that you could just be cool and tell them straight that you love them. Both of these songs hit me hard emotionally, but the biggest theme for me is about alcoholism. This EP is filled with many references about alcohol. Empty bottles, waking up feeling horrid, knowing that all this drinking makes you miserable in the first place, but then doing it anyways. It's all over this album, and having experience with addiction itself makes it hit even harder for me. Lines about full speed to the future of self-medication and poor understanding of everything you wasted 4 years in learning, they still hit me hard, but the final line of the album hits me the hardest of all, and I think it does so for everyone. It's a perfect summary of the feelings of loneliness mixed in with alcoholism and delivered with this beautiful scream to close the album. That song is too much fun to sing. Alex, we have to do that for the next sing-along. When 16-year-old me finished the most intense 13 minutes of his musical life up to that point, I think he knew that he was going to be going down a path of edgy emo music for the rest of his life, so thanks, I guess? Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Give me money on Patreon if you want to see these videos early and have your name in the credits. Please go out there and buy this music. I know Snowing isn't together anymore, or allegedly not together anymore, but please support them. They deserve all the love and praise in the world. Okay, thanks so much for listening. Bye.